Freedom. Juneteenth is all about freedom. The slow march from hell to a moment when this country put on paper the promise of freedom. 40 acres and a mule, freedom. Taxation with representation, freedom. American dreams of schools that taught us how to read, to write, to arithmetic our way into calculating the value of our labor. Yeah, that kind of freedom, that kind of pride, that kind of justice. After emancipation, it took 2 years to beat down all the Confederate armies fighting to deny us that freedom, but it happened for a moment on paper. After Appomattox, it took 2 months of fighting till all men were free for a moment on paper in Texas. All men were free to unshackle and walk away for a moment on paper in Texas, but with no education, no skills, no money, and an economy devastated by war. Was there a moment for even that much freedom on paper in Texas? All men were free to dream of that America, to construct that America, to teach our children of that America, to vote for that America. But what do you need to dream? Safety. We were protected by an army for that moment, but the night was dark and full of terrors. Terrors that exist to this day. Racism was stronger than ever and birthing new ways to assert its power. The furious demand of superiority from white people and defeated South brought a racism to a crescendo. And Black Death was never calculated in this new America. So, what do you need to dream? Family? The family we love scattered throughout the South, sold as cattle with no rights a white man was bound to respect. Our mothers had been raped, our daughters had, or would suffer the same fates. We had been beaten into brutal submission, stripped of our dignity, and reared to believe that rape, murder, and torture in the name of labor was all that was in store for our families in this future, in this new world. So what do you need to dream? Hope. There were 250,000 enslaved people in Texas when a Union general rode in and told everybody about our freedom. When a Union general rode in and informed us to forget the past brutalities of the white man standing over there on that hill. When a Union general rode in and informed us to ignore the trauma of children separated from their mothers by that man over there on that hill. Ignore the trauma of a foot taken for running away from that man on that hill over there. Ignore the trauma of your flesh shredded into brutal submission by that man who was still over there on that hill. The Union general rode in and told us we were, and that rode in and told us that we were free, and that hell had frozen over, and the terrors had passed. What do you need to begin this dream? 4 million of us were free for a moment on paper in a world we had known for 400 years. We couldn't run. We couldn't hide. The night was dark and full of terror, so we organized. We organized. We organized. We created our schools to educate our children. We organized. We held community meetings to find the best of us to run for public offices. We organized. We created patrols to protect ourselves from those terrors in the night. We organized. And after that moment, we got to the work of keeping ourselves alive. Freedom. Juneteenth is all about freedom. We cannot run anymore. We cannot hide. We have to find our hope. We have to be free. We have been given our moment on paper in America. We have been given a moment to become what's written on paper, to dream with the man beside you, to build a world that will make your 7th generation proud. We've been given a moment to create justice in this new world. We've been given a moment to fight for food, housing, healthcare, and human dignity. We've been given a moment to teach our children the glorious struggle against the terrors of the night. We have to get to the work of keeping ourselves alive. It's time to organize for freedom. The moment is passing. It's time to be free.
Thank you, Bruce Jackson, for that awesome message. I like to say behind that it is always important for us to remember our history. America wants us to forget our history, but we don't forget, not so that we stay clouded and living as victims, but that we stay open-minded as visionaries, that we stay hopeful. When we look back and we know where we came from, we are reminded that we can continue to have hope, fulfill our dreams, move mountains, open doors, and do great things. And we remember that we are stronger together and we can accomplish great things. So it's not to say goodbye to our past, but remembering our past gives us strength to move forward and to see our ancestors' dreams and visions and hope for us come true, and to make a better place for our children and our grandchildren and move forward. Again, thank you, Bruce. You guys give it up for him one more time. Next, we're going to hear from Anna Heckman. Was it Hackman? Sorry.